Mic is not working. Okay, yeah, we're live. Okay, let's begin to connect. If you're here, say hello. Let me know you're there. Wherever you're joining from, let me know. Let me send the link to the guys on the WhatsApp. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's WhatsApp done. Let's see. Let's share with the guys on Twitter. If you're live, let me know. Say hello in the comments. Sorry, I'm trying to fix the other streams. If you're live, say hello. Let me know you're there. Let's see. Okay, I can see some of my friends on TikTok. Thank you guys for joining. We're kicking off in a moment. Okay. I think we are live now on Instagram. Okay, that's good. Twitter, we are live on Twitter. LinkedIn is not. Okay, LinkedIn is live, correct. We are live on LinkedIn. Correct. Okay. So tonight, guys, is going to be fun. Another fun episode of this live stream. I'm looking at talking about business ideas for immigrants in the UK. I'll be covering some really nice, some interesting point on how you can basically, we started talking about this yesterday, so how you can settle down or settle as an immigrant in the UK. As most people already know, there's a lot going on currently in the economic landscape of the United Kingdom. and it's not what's the word? It's not news, right? That there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding the political landscape in the United Kingdom. So everybody knows that. And it's not even just the United Kingdom. I think it's more of a global thing, but United Kingdom, because of course the cost of living is at, a very high, yeah. And, salaries are not increasing, catching up. Inflation is going off the roof. And of course, the political landscape as well, because Labour government is not really taxing everybody. It's expensive to do business. So entrepreneurship is not so encouraged. So because of that, the ripple effect of it is employers are not hiring. There's massive layoffs since 2020, 2022, 23, 24. Companies are just laying off and laying off and laying off. So the market is flooded with so many people, so much talent. Employers are not encouraged to hire as much. And of course, there's also been an influx of immigrants into the United Kingdom. And what that means is that there's a huge amount of talent in the pool, right? So if you go online, you apply for one job, you will see, or you post a vacancy. Within a few minutes or 1 hour, 100, 200, 500, 1,000 people have applied for the same single job when they're looking for just one person. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So it's a really dicey situation. But regardless of all of that, or in spite of all of that, I strongly believe that from every difficult situation, there's always an opportunity. Okay. As much as we can like to think, okay, the circumstances are not as favorable or they are not as easy as we would like them to be, it's also important to establish the fact that technology has also introduced a lot of opportunities for us. These days, you probably see that on platforms like TikTok, a lot of people have built entire careers and businesses just off the platform by basically running TikTok Shop affiliate program, right? In fact, I just got approved for TikTok Shop, so I'm even thinking to myself, when am I going to start my TikTok career? Right? I just got approved for TikTok Shop. Are you with me, guys? So I'm already thinking like I need to get myself started on the TikTok affiliate program so that I can also start making some money from TikTok. It's not a bad idea, right? Every little helps, right? So my point is I'm just using that as an example that technology continues and will continue to provide opportunities for us to leverage and for humanity to think differently and think about a way to thrive and survive. Okay, so having said that, I think it's important that if you are somebody that has been predominantly looking at one way or one career or one sort of job discipline, now you hear people talking comfortably about having 2-3 jobs, right? If you're feeling me, let me know in the chat. Please, guys, on TikTok, I will request that you please tap on the like button. Tap on the like button on TikTok. Tap on the like button so that TikTok knows that we are here and they can basically make sure that we are active and we are live. Okay, so please, guys, help me, do me the favor by liking this live on TikTok. Thank you very much. All right. So as I was saying, so the effect of the economic inefficiencies has created, its own challenges. However, as human beings, people are always finding ways to continue to adapt as humans and continue to evolve. Okay, and that is already happening. So some of that is that you find people who previously had one job, now they're doing 2 jobs, 3 jobs comfortably. Employers are looking at models whereby you can hire people instead of hiring somebody full-time, they can then, hire somebody part-time, and, sometimes they even try to condense roles. I have seen job roles where for example, if you're a user researcher, or if it's a UX, you want to hire a designer, they will combine the requirements of a designer and a user researcher into one. So they will say they're looking for a UX designer who also is able to do user research. I mean, it's a given to a degree that if you are a UX designer or an interaction designer, you should have some user research skills anyway. Does that make sense? But normally, before now, or normally, ideally, really, let me use that word. Ideally, you want to have a UX designer or an interaction designer as one person or a team, and then you have user researchers or user researcher as a different capability, and then they collaborate together to produce, amazing products or services or great interfaces, right? But what we are seeing is that employers or companies are looking for ways to cut costs, streamline costs, and still get the most out of their investment or whatever they are paying as salaries. So also, as individuals in careers, it's now time to start thinking out of the box, right? Apart from, just focusing on doing just a job, then you have to also think about your career. It's time to start thinking about, what is my career? How do I plan my career? How do I build, a career? I always tell people, your job is not your career. Okay, I can repeat that, or I can clarify that if you want to clarify. Your job is not your career. Your job is a means to an end. Your job is a means to an end. Your job is to pay bills, right? Your job is to keep you going. Your job is they are like what's it called? Commerce on your journey to your career. Are we together? TikTok is okay, guys. If you're on TikTok, please like the live. Thank you so much. Please like the live and share it. It will really be appreciated, so that we are getting featured on other platforms. Okay, there you go. So thank you for liking. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So if we are in the era where, I think, especially as immigrants, you need to start thinking out of the box, right? Number one, not just about your settlement if you're on a visa or anything, but also about your career. Like, you have to think long term. And if you are trying to understand what your career is, the question I will ask you is, what's your purpose? Why are you here on planet Earth? What makes you tickle? What gives you joy when you do it? I love to teach. I love to share. I love to see people grow. I love to coach. I love to mentor. I love to build stuff. Like, I love to fix things when they're not broken, or I love to find ways to make things better. Not because they're broken, but just because I believe that they can be better, right? So I enjoy that. You need to find out what really is your career. Some people can call it your calling, the same thing, right? It doesn't have to be the thing that puts money on your table. But if it can align with something that puts money on your table, the better, right? But your job is not your career, okay? Your job and your career are two different things. Okay, your job and your career are not the same thing, guys. Let's be very clear on that. If you have questions, please put them in the chat. I'll do my best to address them. So tonight, in that line of thought, I started this series in 2025, every day, 9 p.m. I want us to get together, and I want to have these conversations, just conversations around growth, really. And growth is a very broad topic, as you probably know. Growth is a very, very big, broad umbrella word. Growth could be in relation to your business. Growth could be in relation to your health. Growth could be in relation to our careers. Growth could be in relation to our relationships, even. Growth could be in relationship in relation to life in general, experiences, right? Mindset, right? So many things. Growth is an umbrella word. But I want to take the conversations in one area per time. So this last week and this week, we have been talking a lot about growth when it comes to settlement in the UK. So a lot of people have asked me questions, and thank you to everybody who has reached out. If you have sent me a DM, I've tried my best to respond to as many people as possible. If you have sent me a DM, I've not responded to you, I will respond to you, or just send me a reminder. I will definitely respond to you. Okay. If you have questions, some people have called me. I've spoken to a few people. So please keep the connection coming. Like I said, the goal or the purpose of this is different. I intended to start a podcast last year, and as much as I've done a lot of work preparing for the podcast to start inviting guests and recording the podcast, many things happened towards the end of the year that meant that I was super busy, building with my team at Joy Momentum. If you don't know, I'm the founder of Joy Momentum. That's the logo of Joy Momentum behind me. And I just never really had time to record the podcast. But as we enter 2025, I felt like there's a bigger calling, there's a higher purpose beyond just recording podcasts and featuring guests. I think there's a bigger message that, I feel so strongly that I want to bring to the world. I want to help as many people within my immediate network, and also within my community as an African Nigerian guy who has lived, in the UK for 13 years. Yeah, ish, 2025, yeah, 13 years, right? So I feel like a lot of people have come from. Okay, I can see questions coming from LinkedIn. Guys, please keep the questions coming. I will definitely take them. Also, if you're just joining me, this is Epic Growth with Victor Sonde. My name is Victor Sonde. So I'm your host, and yeah, just enjoy the conversation. If you have anything you want to share, please put in the chat. I'll bring it live and I will address it. Questions generally relating to the topic we are discussing will be much appreciated. I'm streaming live across social media platforms, on TikTok. That's why I'm sort of sharing screens. So anyway, like I said, I just feel like there's a stronger message I want to bring to help a lot of people with clarity. That's the thing. Clarity regarding their careers, clarity regarding your personal development, clarity regarding the kind of relationships that you should be building and the investment you should be making into yourself and into your professional growth. And I think that if I just kick it off with this series of conversations and allow the thing to take shape and form, and allow the community to drive it, allow people to be a part of what it is we're doing, and basically allow the platform to evolve. And that's how it got started, right? I have a newsletter on LinkedIn with about 3,500 subscribers already. And the newsletter is called Epic Growth Newsletter. I started it last year. And this is the name of the newsletter was not the name for my podcast. It wasn't the name for my podcast originally, honestly. But then when we started this live series and when I kicked off prayerfully, of course, I just felt connected with the community. I felt like there's reception of the message that I bring, there's reception of the things that I share, and I found that people are finding value from the things that I'm sharing. So I thought, let me not overthink it, right? There's a newsletter already called Epic Growth. Instead of redesigning and calling my podcast a different name, let's just call this one Epic Growth Live. Okay, so that's how the name came about. In case you're wondering what Epic Growth is all about, you can check my name on LinkedIn, Victor Sonde, and you can actually subscribe to my newsletter. Do my best to share every day, every other day. I share my thoughts and I share thought-provoking articles and thoughts with my subscribers. I don't have any intention of moving that newsletter away from LinkedIn for now, but maybe that will change in the future. So today, this week we've been talking about global talent visa. There's a question in the chat. Let me show that question, and then let me address that question first. I think that's a good one. Guys, if you want to connect with me, please on TikTok. Guys on TikTok, if you check my link in my bio, if you see, let me see. Can you see this link here? I'm at the top of my bio. Just follow that link, and please connect with me across social media. And you can also subscribe to my newsletter. At the same time, you can also send me a message on my website. You can also find a lot of resources that are very valuable on that on my social media. Okay, on my link in bio. Sorry. Following on from, let me see. There's a question. I think there are two questions. Bear with me. Okay, there's only one comment. LinkedIn user. Following on from that, does this mean you would recommend working towards a generalist within a field with a diverse skill set and interest or experience? I'm not sure I quite understand the question. It sounds like you have posted something before that is not showing up. But if I pick the last part of your question, would you recommend working towards being a generalist within a field with a diverse skill set and interest/experience? If I take, without trying to take your question out of context, if you can repost the question, that would be helpful, just so I understand it. But the way I understand what you're asking here is that, what would be my recommendation for somebody who is trying to become a generalist within the field with a diverse skill set and interest/experience? Now, there are two ways to look at this, right? There's two ways to look at this. Guys on TikTok, I hope you got the question. There's somebody asking a question saying that, would I recommend for a person to work towards becoming a generalist, quote and unquote, within a field with a diverse skill set and interest/experience? Okay, and I think that's really a good question. Okay, there's more to the question. Versus a specialist with highly focused skills. Okay, now I think I get what you're saying. So there's two parts. There's one question, but broken into two. Would I recommend somebody working towards becoming a generalist within a field with multiple skill set and interest and experience, versus somebody with becoming a specialist with highly focused skills in a particular industry? Now, the question, my answer, it depends. And let me give a general answer, then I will give a specific answer. So I will divide my answers into two. My general answer would be, it's good to be a generalist, right? Within a field with diverse skill set and interest and experience. I would say yes, it's a good thing. And I'll tell you my reasoning for that, right? And this is my general answer. When you are coming into a field, an industry, a field here is talking about an industry, and when you're entering an industry, generally speaking, it's expected that you start maybe at the lowest level of the rank, yeah? So you start maybe from a generalist role, an analyst or a junior officer, or at the lowest level. The reason why it's been designed that way is to allow you to accumulate generalist skills, right? And so that as you grow in your career, you can begin to find and determine, out of all these areas and diverse interests and experiences I'm seeing, which one is my most am I strongest at? Which one is my strongest skills? Which ones of these is my strongest capability? And I'll give you an example. My days at Accenture in consulting business or KPMG, I worked at Accenture for about 4 years out of my 22 years career, right? In consulting, the general career trajectory is when you join as an analyst. As an analyst, you can be an analyst in a particular sector, maybe oil and gas, or analyst in, I don't know, public sector, or analyst in financial services, and so on and so forth. Now, you can even move around from working as an analyst in financial services to oil and gas, and then move to different sectors, right? The reason why they designed the career model like that is because as an analyst, you are fresh off the block. You've just come out of uni, or for example, or you've just graduated, and you have a lot of theoretical knowledge. You have a lot of information that you have accumulated from uni. Thank you for liking the live, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Guys on TikTok, please like the live and share it so that we are showing on the right spots, and TikTok doesn't assume that we are dormant and just live. Okay, thank you. All right, so back to the question. So they allow you to do that so that after a year or two, when you are now moving from analyst to consultant or analyst to specialist, right? By that time, within those first 2-3 years as an analyst, you will develop some generalist skills. By year 2 in your career, you probably begin to realize that you actually you are strong when it comes to maybe financial services, or you are strong when it comes to numbers analysis, maybe data, or you are more drawn to one thing than to something else. You begin to find that you can apply yourself better in certain skill sets or certain domains compared to others. And what happens is, by the time you are getting to your second or third year in your career path, you begin to find that you are getting to that level where you need to specialize. But you see, the thing is, you really can't, or you really don't want to start specializing too early, right? Because you want to know what your core strengths are, you want to know what your weaknesses are, you want to know what your capabilities are, you want to even know your interests. I'll give you, if I use myself as an example, I qualified as a chartered accountant at 20 years old. Yeah, I was 20 years old when I qualified as a chartered accountant in Nigeria. By my 21st birthday, I was a chartered accountant, right? Now, somebody will say, this guy will be a great accountant. Somebody will say, this guy will be a great, financial. Hey, Sanyu! Hi, Sanyu is on TikTok. Ladies and gentlemen, please give Sanyu a follow. Sanyu is one of our people in People Services, HR Enjoy Momentum. That's one of my team members. Nice having you here, Sanyu. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Hello, how are you? Listen, I'm on 2 screens, so I'm looking at TikTok and I'm looking at my other live streams on this side. So I'm looking at 2 things. Please feel free. If you have questions, if anything you want to add, post them in the chat and I'll be glad to talk about it. Good to see you here. I can see some John Momentum people as well. Amazing people. Thank you guys for the support. Okay. So as I was saying, I qualified as a chartered accountant. I worked as an accountant for about 6, 7, 8, if not more, years of my career. But guess what? I realized that as an accountant, I was good. I wasn't bad. It was not like I did well. My career-wise, I was good. I was all right. I didn't do badly. But accounting was great, but there was more to me than accounting. I could do a lot more, I realized, than accounting, than what's it called? Statutory auditing, financials, all those things. I still know them, but there's a lot more in me than doing all of that, right? And the reason why I chose to become an accountant was because it was my dad was an accountant, right? And it was easy for me to write all those professional exams and kind of just pass them like that, boom, 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 right? And as I was passing, I was feeling like I'll be a good accountant, I'll be a good accountant. But the truth was, after a while, I just felt like I had reached the peak in accounting. Like if I wanted to become a finance director or a I thought I was a finance manager, like for quite a while before I resigned and retired accounting to one side and decided to, embrace technology as my thing, right? So what I'm saying in essence is that there are still a lot of skills in my days of working as an accountant that I still apply today, even though I'm building products and I'm doing coaching, I'm doing mentoring, and building services and doing technology. Am I making sense? So the model that I recommend is to look at your skills or personal development in two ways. Look at developing horizontal generalist skills. So we use the T model. I always preach this in Job Momentum that even the framework we use is T model. The T model means that you will work across different areas you can move around and experience different areas that will give you a broader set of interest, exposure. You can do things with different tools, understand how many things work and all that. What that does is gives you a wider scope and you begin to see, oh, this is interesting. Oh, I know how to do that. I can do that very easily. I never knew that that's what that is, right? And at the same time, as you begin to mature, you can now begin to look at where do I go deeper? Like I'm talking about T, yeah? The T is the vertical. So you now need to specialize in a domain, in an area, right? But you see that people who tend to specialize very early, they have an advantage. There's pros and cons to it, right? People who tend to specialize very early, what tends to happen is if there is a massive disruption in the sector or in their industry, you can easily get displaced, and then you have to start again all over from the either from the ground up, or you have to go and build yourself up. It can be massive disruption, right? But if you are somebody that has a generally skill, you will be able to adapt, even if there's technological advancement, domain shift or industry changes, like the way AI is changing many things now. You realize that many people are beginning to realize that, oh my God, I need to go and reskill. I need to go and relearn. I need to go back to school. I need to go and upskill myself because the technology is basically almost making them become dispensable. And nobody wants to become dispensable. Am I making sense? So that's the downside of saying that you are taking a specialty, except the area where you are specializing is an area that is in high demand and that will never, ever go out of fashion, which I don't know, there's not so many of them. Let's use some examples. Maybe medicine, maybe as a doctor, right? Or maybe even doctors now with AI, I don't know, with the capabilities of artificial intelligence, I think where we are going, AI will be able to, carry out some prognosis, diagnosis, and treatments and all that, even do surgery, right? So you see what I'm saying? I'm thinking of, people who are doing law. There's a huge majority part of law that potentially AI can replicate. Caseworkers, I read last year or 2 years ago, as of 2 years ago, AI can undo caseworking and be more accurate than even humans who are caseworkers. Are you with me? So the ability to adapt is the most important. In fact, I started to craft an article today for my newsletter, and I wanted to call. I listened to a podcast, and the guy talked about AQ, adversity quotient. We talk about emotional intelligence, your emotional intelligence quotient. We talk about IQ, intelligence quotient. I think every one of us should have a degree of resilience and adaptability. We have it in us. We just need to build it. And what makes us more resilient is adversity. Adversity builds elasticity in us, such that if things change as human beings, we are able to adapt and survive and continue to thrive as a generation, as humans. Am I making sense? Let me see comments in the chat. I can see some. Yes, you can only discover and learn your truest passion by being exposed. Yes. Thank you for making you. Majority of us lack proper career guidance growing up. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Let's share this live stream. Thank you, guys. I'm seeing some really great comments, and thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, yes. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. So, guys, like I was saying, so I'm using myself as an example. And I'm saying that it's important that you can't, it's not a case of, I don't know whether it's the right, mutually exclusive, is that the right English? So it's not a case of either this or that. I think it's a case of both, to answer your question in a very simplest way. So you should not throw away your generalist skills and say, oh, I want to specialize. No, you should actually have both. You should blend the ability to combine a generalist skill and also specialize, such that if your specialty is being disrupted, you can bounce back easily and go specialize in something else. Am I making sense? That's my answer to you anyway, in a short form. I can see another comment coming through. Yeah, correct. Thank you for sharing your journey and experiences. I'm hearing that your learning foundations were broad, but honing your specialism based on your passions, interest. Yes. Passion, interest, and also, like earning capability and all that. The need of the world is important. Finally, having accrued a broad skill set, exposure to a wider scope of options, one can proceed with confidence and flex. Correct. You've got my message correctly. Thank you very much. So yes, thank you, guys. I hope guys are getting value from this. Like I said, thank you for the question. That was a really good question. And like I was saying before, that's the whole essence of this live stream. That's the whole essence of, if this is how, God wants me to do my podcast instead of me doing the podcast the way I was going to do it, so be it. And I think for me, I'm enjoying it, having these conversations, connecting with so many people in my community, in my network, and being a blessing. And I'm glad you guys are getting value from this. So thank you for asking that question. Your name is not popular though, but yeah, that's all right. So today I want to talk about a couple of things which I started yesterday. Yesterday I shared a lot of business ideas for people who are, people who are in the UK and they want to settle, and they are thinking about using either global talent visa, or they're considering going through COS, maybe getting a sponsored job, or you are considering self-sponsorship, which requires you to have a business, right? And because I've talked a lot about global talent, right? I've said a lot of things about global talent visa. If you want to go through COS, I've also talked about that, meaning how do I position myself to get a job? How do I position myself to become attractive to employers? And everybody will agree, and if you remember everything I've said, become a person of value. Become an individual of value. In fact, in the words of Daniel Priestley, he will say become a key person of influence. It's the same thing we are saying. Basically, find a need in your community, find a need in your network, and basically meet that need with what you have and what you know. It's as simple. Start from there. Honestly, many people think that getting or becoming the best in your career just happens like that. The world has changed. The kind of skills that will be in demand going forward will not be what we used to know, right? And it's changing so fast, right? Now, when you see something on the internet, people write this question that somebody asked me, and the person confirmed that they understood everything I've said. Because I can see their name as LinkedIn user, I don't know whether they're even a person or they are even an AI, whatever, right? And that's the world we're going to be living in. You will struggle to tell the difference between something that's done by a robot or a technology, and a real human being, right? So you have to be ready to move out, like what Sanyu is saying on TikTok. I love that. Also moving out of your comfort zone, right? Moving out of your comfort zone to become a person of value. What do you know? Share it. What can you do? Execute it. What can you say? Say it. Are you with me? Say it. The internet has made the world so global and local at the same time. I'm sitting right here in my study in the United Kingdom, and there are people joining me from different parts of the world that some of them I've never met before. We might never meet physically, for life, but they've taken something away from this conversation that they're going to apply in their own personal lives, and they are grateful that, Victor, thank you. Are you with me? So that's the power of the internet. Make the most of it. Make the most of it. So that's the thing I want to share tonight. Now, I want to quickly show you. Yesterday, I shared some business ideas, and I focused mainly on real estate. I focused predominantly yesterday on real estate. If you are one of those people who is trying to set up a business in the UK, and you are not sure where to start or what kind of business to start, and even if you're an immigrant, if you're an immigrant, that's okay. I'm going to be sharing. So yesterday, please go and check the live stream yesterday. Just go online and search for Epic Growth with Victor. Just check my feed. You will see what I shared yesterday and listen to it. I shared a lot of real estate business ideas that people can explore. And you can use these business ideas to basically apply for a sponsorship license and then sponsor yourself. Are you with me? So I'm going to have a sip of water. Okay. I hope this is helping somebody. If you're getting value, please like the live, put a comment in the chat, or ask your question. Okay. That's the whole purpose of this. I just want to engage and make sure that whatever I'm sharing is relevant and useful, and people can actually take value away from this conversation. That's the whole idea. All right. So today I want to share some more business ideas with you guys that you can use for tier 2 sponsorship as well. Also, even if you're not doing tier 2 sponsorship, maybe you're just looking for a side hustle, or you're looking for ways that you can make money, because now you've got to think about, the fact that you don't have a job does not mean that you not pay bills. The bills have to be paid. You've got to look after yourself, right? So what can I do? What can I do to basically, keep myself active, deliver value, and still be relevant to myself? That's what I want to talk about now. Bear with me. I'm going to bring up my slides. I'm still sharing my screen anyway. So let us have a look. Okay. Let me take away this comment. Right. So if you can see my screen now, I'm sharing. I want to talk about some profitable business ideas for immigrants. Some profitable business ideas. Guys on TikTok, apologies. Like I said, I haven't been able to figure out the technology yet, so that I can share screen on TikTok. But I will get there. We'll get there. So just bear with us. We'll get there as we improve. We will get there as we improve. All right. So profitable business ideas for immigrants. If you're in the UK, you're in Canada, you're in the United States, you're in Australia, wherever you're joining from, you can explore these ideas and see how they apply in your locality. And you will realize that there might be something that you'll be able to do to keep yourself going. All right. So without delving too much into okay, let's start. So I've divided it into conventional business ideas and unconventional business ideas. Okay, conventional business ideas and unconventional business ideas. I will explain what that means in a moment. So when I talk about conventional and unconventional, you have to look at it from different perspectives. Number one, market familiarity. So you'll talk about business models that are well known, widely accepted, that people commonly understand. So these are generally seen as traditional ways of making a living. Okay, so that's a conventional, that's a feature, or that's a way to understand whether a business idea or a hustle in social media language is conventional or unconventional. Also, when you are talking about conventional and unconventional business models, we're looking at the risk factor. Generally, risk is higher with unconventional business ideas due to their novel nature, which it can lead to high uncertainties, in terms of market acceptance and even profitability. Okay. And then innovation is basically the idea. When you're talking of business ideas that are not conventional, then you are thinking out of the box. You are potentially maybe moving out of your comfort zone. You are bringing something new to something that into an area that people are already familiar with, and you're bringing a new dimension to it. I will give you an example. At Joy Momentum, currently we are building library of practice simulations, a catalog of practice simulations. What do I mean by that? When I started coaching and mentoring way back in Nigeria, I saw some of my pictures. I saw some of my pictures delivering keynote speeches or delivering presentations and coaching in SAP, in Peachtree, in 2008, 2007. Like, I saw my neck long like this. Like, it was a really hilarious picture. But what I'm trying to say is I've been doing this for a long time. Like, it's just something that gives me a lot of joy. See people grow, see people become a better version of themselves, because that's what drives me. I just want to be better than I was, yesterday. Anyway, the point I'm making is because I've been doing a lot of training and coaching over the years, like over many years, right? When I came into the UK, I started the Agile Business Analyst Bootcamp. I remember in Manchester. It was the reason why I started with that was because I realized that a lot of people were doing business analysis, but they were doing business analysis in a very traditional and conventional way. So I felt like the future of business analysis was analysts or BAs who are able to combine the traditional business analyst thinking, the methodologies, the frameworks, the tools and everything, but also have the agile mindset, understand the principles and the ethos of agile, the frameworks such as Scrum, Kanban, SAFe, DAD, all the framework, and be able to add that as part of their tool set. So I created the Agile Business Analyst program in 2015 or thereabout, 2016. And before I knew what was happening, organizations or jobs that previously were being advertised as BA roles, companies began to realize that they need to embrace Agile into the organization. Boom, it just went like that, right? And today, everywhere, apart from AI, the other word is either Agile or digital transformation. Now, why am I saying this to you? At Joy Momentum, we then realized that I started Joy Momentum because I realized very quickly that as part of training people and coaching and mentoring, when they get trained and when they get, they do all the training, certifications and everything, and then they go to the marketplace to speak to employers. Employers ask questions and say, this job you are applying for, have you done it before? And if your answer is no, that's automatic disqualification. I then realized, okay, it's not enough for people to get trained or get certifications. How can we do better as coaches, as training providers, as mentors? How can we empower, people beyond just giving them certifications and beyond giving them training? Because that's not really what the market is looking for. That's not what employers are looking for. The employers are looking way beyond that. They need somebody who understands, who have done it. And the best way to prove to anybody, an employer, a recruiter, that you are the best candidate for a job is to show them, not just tell them on your CV or whatever, is to actually show them that you can do it because you have done it before. That's it. Experience is king. There's no hiding, there's no sugarcoating it. Let's not. Are you guys following me, guys? If you're following, please like the live and share it. Let's have people, getting blessed by this. I hope I'm preaching good tonight. Okay, thank you. Right? So experience is king. You've got to get experience. And I feel like there's something we can do to create this opportunity for young people who are maybe getting ready to go to college or go to uni and coming out and asking questions like, what am I going to be doing? What's my purpose? What's my career? So what have you spent 3-4 years in uni doing? Are you with me? In hindsight, I was blessed. But at the time when I was going to uni and I was dropping out of uni, I felt like there was something wrong with me. I felt like there was something wrong with me when I just couldn't get myself to sit down to finish a 3-year degree or BSc or whatever, right? I felt like something was wrong with me. But in hindsight, it was a blessing in disguise, a blessing in the sense that I just couldn't see myself getting hooked onto a room for 3 years, just being fed information when there's so much information that I know that I could already deliver. I could do a lot of the things that you guys are just pumping into my head, and for me to pass an exam and give me a certificate. I struggled with that. And I'm not saying that degree is bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that going to school is terrible. No, you need to do that. It gives you structure. You build social skills. It's important. However, please, as you're doing that, prioritize work experience. Even if it is by using simulations, prioritize work experience. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sanyu. Your little one is up. And yeah. Please attend to your little one, please. Thank you. Really, really nice having you on the live tonight. You see, I love my young mentor people. They are motivating and inspiring me, which is good. It's good to have great people in your team, guys. Honestly, I'm blessed. I have an amazing team, members in Joy Momentum. We work together every day. So anyway, see you later. Yeah. We can connect later. So as I was saying, it's very important that you prioritize work experience. Anyway, so back to the point I was making. At Joy Momentum, we then decided we need to change how this is done. Not only are we going to give our people training or coaching or mentoring, we will give them work experience. How can we do this? So we started experimenting. We started testing different models. But again, as the market goes, competitors or people who are doing training and boot camps, as we used to do, now started also realizing that the market is not really interested in the training and the certifications. It's actually work experience. So on top of whatever they are doing, they will say, we'll come and do this 2 months boot camp, and then we'll give you work experience as well. But that's not really what that's not really what people are, that's not really what employers are looking for. So a lot of these people, they will go and spend money, go and do this training, go do these different types of training, different places, and then they'll come out and come back and apply to Joy Momentum to become a part of what we are doing, because what we are doing is the real deal. I'm tooting my own, and I'm not tooting my own out of arrogance or whatever. I'm saying it because it's the truth, right? It is true. So organizations and training and competitors, please do the same, do better. Let's all do better, right? Let's all do better. Let's help people become there's a role that you have to play. If you don't play your own role, of course, you don't get most value from it. But as a training provider, or as a vocational training provider, you should give people the quality experience that they need, that they can go to any organization and they will fit in. They will not feel out of place. I mean, I can tell you, like in Africa, we beat our chests, right? So if you are not African, you might not understand, or if you're not Nigerian, sorry. If you're not Nigerian, you might not understand me beating my chest. I can beat my chest or hold my chest that anyone that really comes to join Momentum and gets our work experience, whether it's a technical role or in a non-technical role, if you go to any other organization, you will fit in easy. You will not struggle because there's literally almost nothing that they will do that will be different from what we're doing in Join Momentum or what you were doing at Join Momentum. If you truly commit and dedicate yourself to the program. Are you guys following me? So the reason why I'm saying I'm sharing this story is because, I've seen many people. It's not like, and I'm not saying Join Momentum is perfect. Let's be very clear. I'm not saying that we've got it all figured out. No, we haven't. We are growing. We are getting better by the day. But the truth remains that we decided to prioritize our associates, our interns, the people that come through us above anything else, because it is their needs that truly matter. And as I speak to you, we are now even thinking and doing more than just providing these internships. We are going a step further by building a catalog that will help them. So imagine that you want to work as a customer success advisor, but you really don't have, oh yeah, I can see your comment. Thank you for the comment. Yes, you're absolutely right. Theory can get you only so far, 100%. Theory can get you only so far. And that's the challenge. And that's the problem we are trying to solve, right? There's a huge gap in the market where employers are looking for this kind of people, and the universities and colleges are producing people that they don't quite match. And we are trying to create we have created a transformational program that gives those people the ability to transform to meet the needs of the employer, so that the employers are getting the right people, square pegs in square holes, not round pegs in square holes. I hope I'm making sense. Guys, if you have specific questions, please put them in the chat. You can see that the conversation kind of goes like that, and we land eventually. So we're going to land, don't worry. Now, why am I saying this? Where am I going with this story? Where I'm going with this story is to tell you that at Join Momentum, we are now building what I refer to as practice simulations. And this is not a conventional model, right? Simulation is conventional, but job simulations are not conventional. You don't find a lot of organizations or a lot of business that are doing this, right? And this is something, I'm saying this openly, so it's not like I'm saying something that is hidden or we don't want somebody to come and do what we're doing. That's not the problem. But I'm talking about unconventional businesses often require a high degree of innovation and creativity. So you've got to be innovative, you've got to be creative in order for your business to succeed, right? But you're not doing the conventional thing. You're not just giving, for example, we are not giving training and certification and then ask people to go, because that's theory. It doesn't quite translate to capability. It doesn't translate to the fact that when they get the job, they'll be able to deliver, right? We have seen people who have gone to jobs and then the following week they disappeared because they realized that they couldn't deliver. It's beyond their skill. What they were told in the training class or at uni or in the training room is not what they met when they got the job. Some of them, make up their CVs, put difference into the CVs, and they are not able to defend the CV. What's the point? Many people do jobs or do training and boot camps, and they make up a CV for you. And when you see the CV, you yourself will be wondering, is this me? Has that ever happened to anybody? When somebody makes up a CV for you, I'm wondering, is this me? Why? Because the things on the CV, you can't defend them. You don't even understand the terminologies. You don't even understand the words. And that CV can get you a job, mind you, but can you actually do the job if you can't defend the CV? I hope I'm making sense, right? So let's begin to think out of the box and look for ways. And then unconventional ideas, I've already mentioned this, new concepts, risk is higher, of course, innovation is a thing. So let's start with the first one. If you are looking for what business can you do, are you guys with me? My first idea is on the screen. You can start an ethnic restaurant or cafe. This is a good business if you are very, very methodical. You can target locals or other immigrants or tourists. Yeah, you can target them. You need some money to start this, about $5,000 to $10,000 can get you started in this business. But you need skills like if you love to cook. I mean, I enjoy cooking, for example, but I enjoy cooking not as a, maybe, I don't know, but I don't think I enjoy cooking as a business, because that would be like cooking massively nonstop. I enjoy cooking just for fun, cooking maybe for show or for presentation. I'll probably start doing some videos on my social media to demonstrate my cooking skills. Maybe I can go for cooking competitions or chef competitions. Never say never. It's a skill, right? But if you think about it, this is a good business idea. In fact, I know somebody who used to be a business analyst, and now she has a restaurant. She has a nice restaurant in the north of UK, or is it north? Northwest, not northwest, northeast, or I don't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But she has a business now. She has a restaurant. And I spoke to her last year when she told me everything. I was so happy. That she eventually took the bull by the horn, because she enjoys to cook, and she enjoys to also do like healthy cooking for Africans, for Nigerians. And I think there's a big market for that. There's a lot of Africans, Nigerians that have, immigrated into the UK, and they want to taste the food or the flavors of Africa or the flavors of Nigeria, from time to time, right? You can target those people. You can sell to them. They can become your customers. But don't start this kind of business if you are not skilled with cooking, or you don't enjoy cooking, or you don't have the ability to serve people. You are not very great when it comes to customer service, because cooking or restaurant business is not just about the food, right? Imagine you're making food, but your customer service is poor, right? People will not like it, and you don't want that for your business, do you? So if you enjoy cooking, this definitely is an option you should consider. And let me quickly say something about this kind of business. You don't have to start by going to open a location, right? You can actually start without opening a location. Let me give you a tip there. So I know on Instagram, there's a lot of coaches now. They are coaching people on all sorts of things. I'm not a cook, right? And I'm not a chef. I'm not. But I'm saying that there are ways whereby you can actually start cooking from your house or your back. You can set up something in your home and get your local council to give you the certificate, do the testing, do your chef training or cooking certification, and you can actually, start cooking. And instead of you opening a restaurant where people can come and sit down, which would mean you have to invest capital, you can save yourself that to start. You can start by, on Deliveroo or Just Eat or Uber Eats, if that exists in your local area. Register on the platform, create an account as a food vendor, and then let people start ordering your food. Yeah, let people start ordering your food. And that way, you can begin to seek feedback from your customers. When they order a food, slide the card in there and say, please, can you follow us on social media and give us a feedback? Or can you send us a mail or send us a WhatsApp message, or you can say, you can order for your party, just send us a DM on this. You can include it in the package that you deliver for your food. Or you can brand your delivery packages that people can always see. There's a number, they can see your website, they can see us. There's so many creative ways you have to think about this. All I'm saying in essence is that this is a business that you can start, and you definitely can use this business to self-sponsor yourself if you want to use it for business sponsorship, self-sponsorship. That's for those in the UK, right? Okay, I'm seeing some questions in the chat. Let me see. If you have questions, guys, please put them in the chat. I'm happy to address your questions, guys. If there's anything I've said that you think you want some more further clarity, please ask me and I'll do my best to address them for you. There's a question here that says, following from earlier, I am hearing that success in employment needs theory, knowledge, plus experience, yes, and creativity. Yeah, I would say experience includes creativity, but yeah, a dose of, I would say, knowledge, experience, and adaptability. That's what I would say. Creativity should come with your experience, but adaptability means you should be flexible, you should have a growth mindset, and you should be resilient. Let me use that's the key word. Resilient, such that in any, no matter how challenging or how tough a situation is, you should be able to find yourself and find your feet and balance yourself. Am I making sense? So yes, you are following me very well. Another question here: what is the extra ingredient for an entrepreneur? You see, entrepreneurship is not easy, and everything I'm saying here, guys, is for people that want to do business. Business is not for children, right? You've got to. I said this in my first, second, third episode, if you can find it. In fact, maybe I'll cover it tonight. I talked about counting your cost. Very important. Counting your cost. The extra ingredient for an entrepreneur, it depends. It varies per individual. So I can call out a few things, but it's not massively different from the things I've said. But I think for me, as an entrepreneur, what the extra you need is staying power. Staying power. Let me use that. Let me call it that. And also, it's kind of the same thing as resilience. Honestly, resilience is really like the key ingredient that makes an entrepreneur different. An entrepreneur will keep hitting the same spot because they believe that there's a solution right in that spot. But every time they hit it, it's like they're banging their head against a stone, banging their head against a rock, and they continue banging their head. And everybody around will say, "You are insane." Yeah, until they say you are insane, then you are not an entrepreneur. The people have to look at you and be like, you are not normal. Something is wrong with you, right? Because it is only you that can see what you are saying. It's not everybody that will see what you're saying. So you must be willing to grind against the norm. You should be willing to go against what people call normal, and you should be willing to find solutions to problems that a lot of people are struggling with. And those are the things that make you stand out as an entrepreneur. I say resilience is a big one. The other thing I would like to say, of course, generally speaking, for entrepreneurship, is your ability. You should be a people person, and that is a broad terminology. Being a people person, I would say, be approachable, be able to communicate clearly, be able to socialize and connect, be able to, like, that comes with your ability to sell and convince people about the solution that you bring to the market, and so on and so forth. So I would say you should be a people person. You should be able, and then the last one I will mention is humility. Humility basically means that you have a mindset of a servant. That's how I look at entrepreneurship. A mindset of a servant, meaning you found your tribe, which are the people you are serving. You found that they are struggling with something, and you have come up with a solution that serves them. But you are not presenting the solution to them with a dose of arrogance or a dose of nonchalance, but you are presenting that solution to them with humility, to say you are coming from a place of service, meaning I know you have this challenge. You might not even recognize it yourself, but here is a potential thing that I have to offer you that could save you, this amount of money or that could save you this stress, that could solve this problem for you. That is an extra ingredient, I would say, for an entrepreneur. So those three things, I think, are super important. Every other skill in terms of technicality, sales, all that stuff come under, for me, those three broad categories. Okay. I hope that answers your question. Thank you for asking your questions, guys. I hope you guys are getting value from this. Let's move to the next business idea. Cleaning services. I think I talked about this a little bit yesterday. Oh, fantastic. I can see you answered my question on the extras needed for entrepreneurs: resilience, persistence, planning, humility, and strength of character. Yes, yes, yes. It's really important, because I think as entrepreneurs, it's very easy to think like, because you're providing a solution, so you are like, you have that savior mentality, you have that, but that's not right, because you're serving, you're a servant. And when you serve, and that's leadership, really, when you serve, it's leadership. All right, so thank you for your questions, and I'm glad you're getting value with the answers I'm providing. I hope this is helping somebody. Let me know, guys. You know what? I'm thinking at some point on this live, I'm gonna have to. We have to be creative as well. We're gonna have to start having some sessions where maybe we can do some entertainment, maybe have some music, have some poetry. So if you're interested in any of those kind of things, or if you have some skills you want to share with my audience, my network, send me a DM. I'll bring you up. But I will screen you first, by the way. So you have to show me what you can do first. So if you have a message you want to share, or maybe you can sing, you want to perform, or you have something valuable for the community, send me a DM. I would definitely give you the platform to do so. Okay. So I'm just thinking of ways to make the live more engaging and also more interesting for other people. Cleaning business, guys. So yesterday I talked about real estate, and one of the things I mentioned yesterday is cleaning. No, I think it was property management. I can't remember now. But I know I mentioned something similar to this yesterday. So if you are doing cleaning, you can service businesses, you can service homeowners as a business. You don't need a lot of money to start. You don't need a lot of money to start. Oh, great to have you back, Sanyu. Thank you for joining back. All right. I'm on the clock now, so I've got about 10, 15 minutes left. So hopefully I can cover everything I want to say. As I was saying, guys, so cleaning business, you have to watch out for competition, labor-intensive work. What you can do is gather a few people, and you guys can begin to do a survey first. Now, let me say something, actually, before I go off, before I continue to the next one, and I will stop at the next one. I think I've got quite a few I want to share, but I will stop on cleaning, on maybe hair salon. But let's talk about something very important. I want to say this to you guys. If you're on this call and you are looking to start a business, and this is one of the things I want to talk about tonight. If you are thinking of starting a business, right? The first thing I would recommend for you to do is to experiment, to test whether what you're thinking is actually a need, whether there's a need for it. If what you are thinking to do as your business is just a want, that the people you are planning to target, they don't prioritize it, or they don't see it as something they need, then you might need to go back to the drawing board. And how can you test this? It's very simple. You can do a survey, you can do market research, you can do diary studies, it's just research. You can do a lot of research. Let me give you an example. Or you can even create a sample prototype, right? Create a simple website, publish it, and talk about it, and see if anybody is interested. Do a video and promote it with advertisement, and ask people to provide you information. You'll be surprised. The data you get from it will give you insight into, hang on, is there a need? Are there people who are willing to pay for this thing I'm doing in this area or not, right? And it doesn't mean that if you get, one set of data, you give up. You can you can pull data from different areas and pull it together and use it to make an informed decision. There are examples of startups that are global successes now. For example, Dropbox right? For example, Dropbox or even Zappos. Zappos basically just started, took some pictures of shoes and stuck it on their landing page on their website, and then they started promoting it. There was no shoe, there was nothing. They didn't have anything. It was just the landing page website, and they called it their business. And people started ordering, and people started looking, and that's how they became. That's how they validated their business idea. Am I making sense? So you want to validate that your idea is something that is a need, so that your business can actually command value. Am I making sense? Somebody says, what keeps me motivated as an individual? Very good question. What keeps motivated? Interesting. I think one of the things that keep me motivated is when I see that the work that I do has an impact on the people that I am doing it for, or that I'm serving. I think that's, for me, a strong source of motivation. Also, because it's a strong source of motivation and validation that what I'm doing is the right thing. Even sometimes that when it feels challenging, or it feels like it's not the right thing, or maybe because it's not being appreciated, or I'm not getting value, I'm not getting, the kind of results I want. But if I look at the people I'm serving, and I see, or they tell me, or they confirm that, like for example, somebody look at the person here, people messaging on LinkedIn and asking questions, I'm answering them, and they're asking more, and that tells me that something good is happening here. Even if it's one person, there's about how many people here, and I can see on this streaming night, there's about 40 people on this live now. On this one, on TikTok, I can't tell. I don't know. TikTok, my screen is white on TikTok, so I really can't tell how many people are listening on TikTok. But let's assume there's 50 people listening to me now. And even if it's one person out of the 50 that is getting value and feeling connected, that does it for me. Am I making sense? That for me is a strong source of motivation. Okay. So guys, like I said, cleaning service is a good one. But I was going to say that you should, sorry guys, give me a second, just 1 second, please. I'm going to cough. I don't want to cough in the microphone. Okay, I'm back. I needed to clear my throat. Yeah, not that itchy throat kind of thing. Maybe it's a question that made me have itchy throat, but I think I answered the question okay, yeah? So, as I was saying, something I wanted to talk about, and this is a model that I believe I want to share, especially for people who are trying to do business. Guys, validate your business idea. This is super important, guys. Validate your business idea. And when I talk about validating your business idea, I think it's super important you can do that with research, okay? Or you can even do that with experimentation. Experiment, that's the word I'm looking for. Be willing to experiment and be willing to don't attach your emotions to your ideas. Let me put it that way. I hope that makes sense to somebody. Don't be emotional about your ideas, right? Don't be sentimental. Don't be too sentimental about your ideas. It's very easy to have an idea, and that idea is not really needed, or there's no value for. When I say value, meaning that people are willing to pay for it, right? That's what I mean by value for it. That's what I mean when I say validate your ideas, right? I think we'll do a lot more talking about this, over the coming days. But be willing to experiment, and when you experiment quickly so that you can move on before you get too invested, before you start building anything, or before you start, cook for. If you are doing cleaning or if you are doing cooking, cook for 10 people, right? See what they say. If your food is not good, then or they tell you that mate, I'm not going to pay for this, then you know that there's something wrong, and tell them why. And they tell you that, well, maybe if you add this, if you add that, if you change this way, present it this way, then I don't mind paying for, I'll definitely pay for this. But what you want is something where by the time you serve it, people will say, yes, 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 can I have more? That is, you want that. You want that feeling. You want that that's validation. Am I making sense, guys? So the fact I'm sharing these business ideas does not mean you get stuck with it, you hold it in your mind, and once you try it, it's not working, then you feel like you're a failure, you have failed in business, you can't do business. No, no, no. Be okay with critical feedback. That's what somebody said on, yeah, thank you, yes, thank you, Sanyu. Willingness to unlearn and learn new stuff, and accepting critical feedback with grace. I know it's not easy, especially if you have invested time and maybe effort. And I'm not really encouraging people to invest too much money. In fact, one of the things I'm hoping that when we have the capacity in Join Momentum to be able to do is to create what we call a business starter pack. Business starter pack, that you can start a business with almost nothing, and you can use it to experiment your ideas, use it to experiment your thoughts. Are you with me? Use it to experiment. Like, that's the whole idea. And if it works, then you know that you have something you can quickly start executing on before you get too invested emotionally, financially, and all that. Experiment, ask questions, and consistently ask questions. Consistently ask questions so that you are validating that your business is meeting that need as it goes along. And the fact that your business or your idea was meeting a need yesterday does not necessarily mean to continue to meet a need tomorrow. Anything can happen and boom, it's out of the windows. You got to think on your feet and pivot to the next thing, okay? So I'm saying that resilient mindset, growth mindset, ability to take things, take feedback and act on them quickly is very, very important. All right. So let me share one more business idea, and I want to talk about some important programs that I want to encourage people to take. I started talking about this yesterday. In fact, let me put a link in the chat. Guys, if you want to start a business or you're looking to build yourself in your career, there are certifications that I will recommend that you take. And in Join Momentum, I strongly believe in the power of community. What we are building here with this epic growth live series that I'm doing every day, is a community we are building here, right? But I would like us to take it to a whole new level where people are able to invest in their own progress. So we have designed something called the Digital Professional Pathway, where we want to be able to start mentoring individuals who are willing to invest in their careers, invest in starting a business, invest in starting a side hustle, whether you have a job already and you want to go to the next level in your career, or you are trying to make a career switch, you're not sure how to go about it, right? So it's important that you start considering something that I call the Digital Professional Pathway. I'll put the link in the chat. Digital Professional Pathway. This is super important, guys. Digital Professional Pathway. Just go to joinmomentum.com. I'll put the link in the chat. Let me see if I can show it. You know what? Give me a second. I'll see if I can put the thing on my. I'll put it here. Yeah, let me see if I put it here. Oh no. Let me see if I. Okay, I'll figure it out. Okay. There you go. So you can see here, you can see on my screen, if you are on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, on x.com, on Instagram, you see on my screen there's a ticker or there's a scroll on the bottom of my screen. Again, you can go to, if you're on TikTok, if you go to my, let me see, if you go to my handle, my name there, you see my profile. click on my profile. You will see my link in bio is victorsonde.com/connect. I think it is the first link on my LinkedIn bio. It's called, Join Momentum is where I work. So Join Momentum is my organization, and we have designed these programs because we have partnered with the likes of Cisco. Cisco is a global technology leader, so they've given us academic status. We have partnered with the likes of VMedu, Scrum Study. We are leveraging platforms like OpenAI. Yeah, we are a Microsoft partner, so we are pulling all of these things together. And because the skills you need is not just about getting the certificate. Of course, you get the training certificate, but it's about community and mentorship and coaching, and also having a blueprint. So if you check it out, you will see a lot of trainings and certifications that we provide on that link, and just go for one. Once anyone you go for, you will have access to everything I've mentioned, right? You have access to everything I've mentioned. And if you are looking for work experience, you are looking to build your skills or achieve work experience. Maybe you want to apply for global talent visa, you need referencing, you need recommendations, you need all that. Or maybe you're trying to get a job, but you have been getting, unfortunately, because you don't have the relevant work experience. You want to basically check the link in my bio as well, and go and check Join Momentum, check our Global Digital Internship, or check our Career Accelerator Placement Program. Listen, this program will invest £5,000 equivalent in your professional development. Guys, I'm not saying this to brag or anything. It's what we do. Our teams will support you, we onboard you. You work with our developers, our designers, our testers, our researchers, our BAs, our content. We do quite a lot, right? And we have plans to even do bigger things, to scale bigger, partner with many organizations this year. So we need people as well. So instead of us just believing that we want to use, or we want to basically hire many people and pay them salaries, we also want to use the opportunity to invest all that energy and all that effort and all that knowledge and all the skill in other people, because we have believed strongly that if somebody can sit down to do something, it is the best way to learn and master skills. It's not by theories or anything. It is the best way to learn. It is the best way to learn. By doing, you master your skills. There's no, and you know what's interesting? Anything you do and you master it, nobody can take it away from you. That's one thing I've realized. If you do something and you do it, you can point to it, I've done this. If the worst they can do in a company is to sack you, when you go or fire you, when you go, that skill, that knowledge, you have it. It's still with you. It can't be taken away from you. It's there. You can replicate it anywhere else. So please, let's begin to think beyond just getting certifications and training. Also, let's now begin to think of getting the relevant experience, because that way companies will really, really, really get value when you start talking to them. Am I making sense? So guys, check out our career. So we invest £5,000 equivalent professional development in you, and we will allow you to work with us for 6 months. And it's very flexible as well. So if you're a student, you can do it, in a flexible way to accommodate your studies. If you're working, you can also do it along with your job. If you're not working, even better, you have time to invest in your professional development and your skills. You meet people from all over the world. What can be better than that? You make new friends, you build a network, your personal brand will grow. You get featured on our podcast, visibility for your profile, portfolio for you. Listen, guys, no one does it better. Oh, I'm loving this. I'm preaching good, guys. Am I not preaching good? Tell me, am I preaching good? Sorry, I'm enjoying myself, guys. But honestly, as I say these things, I know I'm laughing about it, but honestly, I feel blessed that I have amazing people that make all these things happen every day. We work together, and I still have big dreams. I believe that we can make impact all over the world. We have people from different. As of last year when we checked, we've had people from over 15 countries. From over 15 countries in Join Momentum. It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. And this is not about the money or anything. It's actually about the experience. It's about the impact, right? It's about the experience. It's about the impact. So come and join us. Let's make the impact together. Let's build the capabilities together and build something that you can be proud of, that you can point to anywhere you go and say, I was part of that. I contributed to that. That's the joy of what we're talking about. Okay. All right, guys. So let's wrap it up tonight. I've busted my timing by 9 minutes, but I hope you guys have found value from this. I hope you've really been blessed by the conversations tonight. Like I said, if you can see my screen, there's quite a lot of business ideas but tomorrow is another day. We don't have to exhaust everything today. If you have any specific questions or you want help, maybe you want me to refer you to or connect you to the solicitors that we work with for Global Talent Visa, or you want to set up a business and use that business for your sponsorship, send me a DM. It's a free thing. I'll talk to you. I'm not one of those that will ask you to pay 3,000 before I write a reference. Don't do anything like that. It's free, right? I just want to be a blessing. But of course, when then you are introduced to our solicitors, of course, they will charge you. They will tell you whatever it is. They'll charge you. I might get a referral. I might not. But again, the bottom line is free conversation. There's no obligation. I just want to help and help and help. And this community, I pray that will continue to grow. Everybody that comes on this platform will continue to be blessed, right? And that blessing, you can take it to your friends. You can take it to your network. The mentality and the things that you receive from here, you reflect it in your day-to-day. And that is the excellence that I want this platform to stand for. Thank you once again for joining me tonight. Guys on TikTok, I love all of you. Guys on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, X.com, Instagram, thank you so much. I'll see you at the same time tomorrow, 9 p.m. Mark your diaries, mark your calendar, come with your questions, and let's delve into all the other business ideas we want to talk about that we couldn't cover tonight. Stay blessed and have a good night. Thank you.